It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio, presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflux Show!
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I know damn now.
Attack by Chuck. To the 10. He's the running to the 5. He dips outside 50. He's going in. Touchdown. Swing on drive. Ready, one. Away. Back to goal. Here it is. You're doing most baseball.
It's time! The Big Play Reflux Show!
Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Victory Monday. I think we could do that. Victory Sunday, Victory Monday. I am your host, Big Play Dave, alongside the crew, Chris McNeil. How are you, sir?
Good, Dave. Excited after the Cavs run, the Browns winning, the Cavs winning tonight. Good karma right now.
There we go. Gab Cruz, what's happening?
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Long Mondays. Long Mondays. Dollar Dog Nick in the production suite over there. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Still dragging a little from the boxing event.
Yeah, did you guys have fun at that?
It was a blast.
Our buddy Tim Van Nieuwhouse put on quite a show for some Big Play boxing. So glad it's over, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Dave,
I
I'll
think
tell
for
you
our
what.
first thing, it was awesome. You go,
I
Chris.
went in not knowing what to expect, and that was just fantastic. For a guy, for me, who doesn't know boxing at all, has never attended a boxing event, to see what you guys put together there, that was just amazing. Gab, you were fantastic. Dave, Nick doing the commentary. I mean, everybody just did a fantastic. Even Ken dressing up, wearing the fur, doing his angry Ken thing.
Oh, yeah.
He wore the fur on the
Getting
show
everybody
today.
riled up. I mean, everybody had a role, and it turned out really, really well. You guys should be proud of that. And it was really a nice event for Cleveland. I'm looking forward to us doing more of this boxing stuff, because that's something that, Boom Boom Mancini was there. And
Yeah.
there's such a heritage of that up in Northeast Ohio, and it's so nice to bring that back. So well done to everyone involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the reason Timmy wanted to do it. So we've got a cool boxing, hopefully, series here in Cleveland for the foreseeable future. So good stuff. More to come on that. Gab, I know we have this Labattmas 12 days of
Yeah.
Labattmas
Should we show
beer
them?
advent. Yeah, sure. Let's pop that
You and I
up
both
real
got
quick.
one of these.
Check that out right there. It is not 12 days to Christmas.
Of Labattmas.
So we got to open
Labatt
some of
gave
these.
to me.
Do all 12 tonight.
I'm 5 behind, so
Are they all? You
number
know what,
one
to
I
be
already
honest-
had
Oh, you did.
was
Oh
a
wow, they
a
might
blue
not
light.
All, they might not all be beer.
Let's go number 2.
Oh, this is awesome. So this is
All right, you
a
can have that.
Labatt something. What is it?
What is it?
Oh,
What's it say?
oh, it's a beer mitten.
All right, we got a beer mitten. Day 3,
Wow.
rapid fire, strawberry guava,
Okay.
seltzer.
Okay.
All right,
So wait,
we'll take
some
a
of
break
them-
at day 3.
Some of them are beverages and some of them are gifts. Is that what it is?
It appears that
Oh,
way.
that one's
you
gonna
want
be
to
a
go for?
beverage. That one's a beverage.
Is it all
See,
right?
this would be fun. That would be fun to like you're
Oh.
supposed to open it in the morning
Oh, I got
before work. So
grapefruit.
Ooh.
find out if you have to drink before work or not.
I got a rock.
Yeah, the kids open theirs in the morning. I open mine at night.
I see.
All right, cool.
All right, we'll keep this going through the whole show. All right, so we have a pretty packed schedule here for the show, so let's get right into it. Cleveland headlines brought to you by Shaq News. Then we'll have a Labatt Blue Light or whatever else comes out of this nifty little gift bag with Jake Trotter. Talk some Browns off that win. And then we'll finish up with Big Play Bets, previewing this Saturday's Browns-Saints game, brought to you by Tipico, the exclusive sports book of Big Play. Let's get it going with some Cleveland headlines.
Cleveland headlines.
Cleveland headlines.
Cleveland Headlines brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News, your go-to site for video games and more. The holiday season is here, so if you need some last-minute gift ideas, check out their Shack News Holiday 2022 gift guide for gamers. And remember, you can join in on all the discussions using the Shack News Cortex and subscribing to their Twitch channel. So if you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle @ShackNews and at ShackNews.com.
Okay, Browns beat the Ravens 13-3 Saturday. Kind of weird game. We'll obviously take the win. Chris, takeaways from that game on Saturday.
First of all, a win is a win.
Absolutely.
Especially in December. You know, you got some of the elements, you got the weather there. You know it's the Browns, so it's always going to be a little bit of a weird game. So dismiss some of that, but it's nice to come out of a weird game with a W. Deshaun Watson looked a little bit better this week. You know, you saw the defense stepping up, only allowing 3 points. That's huge. You know, God knows if we should make the playoffs, and I know there's a very, very slight chance of that ever happening. But those are the types of things that you'd have to do in the playoffs. So it's good to see us starting that.
0.4 to 0.7, Chris. 0.4 to 0.7.
I like those odds. No, but it's good. It's nice to I so get used to these games around Christmas where not much is expected and the team doesn't deliver. And this was the opposite. Not a whole lot was expected. The team showed up. That was good to see. So a nice victory.
Gab, what were your thoughts?
I think I'm excited for the fans who went out that game because, I don't know, it was just fun looking. The snow was kind of falling and like
snow globe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see me having fun at that kind of game. I could care less about the weather. Just when everybody's out there braving the cold and you got a little bit of the snowflakes going on and then you're seeing a good game unfold and you're staying warm drinking your beers or whatever. I'm happy that we got that home win for everybody. And yeah, like Chris said, people our defense really stepped up. Deshaun did look better. Miles did really well, and Denzel Ward.
It was nice to see Denzel Ward do more than like one play, right?
Yeah. And even like John Johnson, we've been ripping on him a decent amount this year. He had a good game.
Yeah.
Chris, do you think I feel like let's rewind 1 year. I feel like we did this last year. We're like, oh, the defense sucks. Oh, it's starting to build. We're getting better. We got to keep Joe Woods. Let's run it back. Oh, we suck again. Are we falling back into that, do you think? Or do you think the defense is actually improving? It seems like it's only in games where
The team's bad.
it's like prime time.
We're playing.
Like Saturday afternoon prime time or like against the Bengals. They never play well at Sunday at 1.
Before we get too far out over our skis, we still didn't do great against the run. We gave up a 100-yard rusher. I mean, I know we only gave up 3 points overall, but there's still a lot of opportunity for us to improve, I think, on that end of the ball. But no, we've seen some improvement. Like you said, we've fallen into this trap before, but it is still good to see improvement for improvement's sake. And hopefully we can see that at the end of the year. And then we do keep him, and he'll have earned it at that point. If we can make it through the end of the year, continuing these kind of defensive efforts, then he's got a strong case to come back. Because certainly it wasn't that case, a few weeks ago. Everybody was calling for his head.
I have no idea how the Ravens scored only 3 points and they only punted once.
That's an anomaly, huh?
That doesn't even seem like that could happen.
No, statistically not possible. But when it comes to the Browns, hey, things happen, Dave. You know that. Things just happen.
Well, we had a fumble recovery and an interception, right?
Yeah, I guess it was the turnovers.
Yeah.
There we
Our
go.
all-world kicker, Tucker, he looked horrible.
He did.
Yeah, that was odd. What do you guys think about the special teams? Was it just a weather thing? Because obviously if Tucker and Cade were both...
I'll give Cade York a pass because he made the first two, and then Tucker sucked, and then he's like, all right, that's the best guy in the world. I guess I can suck for a little bit too.
More missed kicks than the World Cup out there on Saturday, huh?
Right?
Huh?
Talk about some stats. The big play analytics there. Getting into the weeds.
Go Italy.
Chris, how
Crappy weather. You get into crappy weather, and things are going to happen like that. But
agreed.
that's what concerns me. I mean, Phil Dawson. You look at his first year in the league. His percentage was not very good. He learned how to kick in those type of elements, and hopefully Cade York can do that, because that's what we're going to need eventually. We're going to need a kicker who can deal with the cold, can deal with the wind, can deal with the snow globe a little bit. And right now, he's got a long way to go.
So our guest coming up, Jake Trotter, he always does a great job putting out the probabilities for the Browns to go to the playoffs. They're slim, but they are looking better now.
Dave, what are they?
0.4 last week. And then Jake tweeted out today, playoff odds are now up to 0.7.
Hey.
0.7%. Are you holding out hope, Chris?
We go up another 0.3. We're at a full percentage chance. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Everybody keeps talking about these playoff scenarios. And they always start with, well, the Browns win out and then. And it's like, well, let me just stop you there before you go too far. You're making a huge assumption right off the bat that the Browns are just going to easily win out, and then these things happen. The Browns need to get that stuff done first. And I think that's what everybody needs to concentrate on, especially obviously inside the building there, is let's get it done on the field, and then whatever happens, happens. Either way, we win out, you're going to feel pretty good about the team, right? You make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So that's where the focus should be. If the playoffs should magically happen, that would be great. I'm not expecting that in any way. I mean, when you have a 0.7% chance, but a win out, either way, you win there, So just keep winning, guys.
New Jersey and New England have to lose twice each. Miami, Baltimore, Los Angeles need to lose out. Jacksonville, Raiders can't win out. Easy.
Do they have to contract the team too? And then the team has to get contracted before.
How'd you figure that out? I wondered about that. What all
Dollar
had to
Dog
align?
Nick. Our stats department puts it all together for
shout out
us.
to Dollar Dog for that.
Yeah. Anything you need to add there?
No, well, of the three that need to lose out, I believe only one of them actually has to. If the Jets and New England both lose twice, we'll leapfrog both of them.
Okay.
And then we just need either Miami, Baltimore, or the Chargers to lose out, I believe.
That's
just
easy.
one of them. Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right.
I feel like we're going to do it.
The problem is I think Miami and the Chargers are actually pretty good, and if Lamar comes back,
right,
I don't think Baltimore's losing out. And people are already saying Cincinnati, if they have it wrapped up, at that point they play each other week 18.
Yeah.
What if they rest all their there's just so many. Like Chris said, we got to you just have to hope you beat the Saints this week. Like, you can't look ahead to week 18, obviously.
It's probably going to happen.
And I saw at one point Baker could help us out. I think he plays somebody, the Chargers.
I like
or one
how
of them.
I'm just on the screen the whole time while Nick's
Sorry.
talking.
Every time I talk, I lose track of the camera completely. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Back to you, Dave.
There we go. I love it. So I think it's going to happen. 0.7. It's going to go up next week. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's quickly talk Cavs. They keep winning. They are one of only 3 NBA teams with 20 wins this season thus far. Chris, live update? How we looking?
They're running out the clock right now, Dave. 122 to 99. Your Cavs are going to be victors.
All right.
How about that? Offense 122, and they don't give up 100 points. That's pretty dang good.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
impressed. At home against the Jazz, you've got a lot of players that are very familiar with each other, obviously, between those two teams. So you've got a little bit of emotion there. You see there's a great crowd there today. It's like a playoff atmosphere.
Papa Cruz is at the game today.
See? You got
Nice.
all the luminaries in attendance today. And the Cavs pull out a big one. So they just continue to win here. This has been a nice little stretch for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had J.R. Smith smashing the guitar like Bernie did earlier in the year for the Browns. Gab, where would you rank J.R. when it comes to celebrities in Cleveland? Just cult favorites.
Like just in this era? Because 2016 wasn't too long ago.
No.
I feel like he's got to be in the top
He's
Top
up there.
five.
He's beloved. He's
Yeah.
beloved.
And he took
Oh,
his shirt
JR.
off, I think. That was awesome. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
His classic move.
Oh yeah. I think he's a Cleveland fan favorite of all time.
Yeah, and then he comes back and goes to the Cavs game and takes his picture with Fred McLeod, the picture of him, and does a nice little tribute there.
Oh, yeah, I did like
I
that.
thought that was really cool. That was sent out. So not only that, he gets it. He gets the connection to the city. He gets what gets us going. That was a nice little tribute. And then he gets on the court and starts arguing, which was also fantastic.
Yeah.
So he gets our sentimental side and gets our passionate side.
That's right.
Both in one stretch there. So yeah, JR is just one of those guys. He'll never have to buy a beer in this town.
Heck yeah. Good stuff so far. Browns win. Cavs keep winning. Let's keep that going. It is time for our Labatt interview of the week. Let's kick it off. Dollar Dog Nick, it is interview time with Jake Trotter.
Looking good there.
All right, live on the Labatt line, we have friend of show. Well, there we go. Friend of show, Browns reporter for ESPN, Jake Trotter. Jake, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. This is how committed I am to your podcast. I'm playing pickup basketball at the church I go to in Cleveland. And just take a break, get some water, and come do the podcast.
Wait. So where are you sitting?
I got the podcast.
Well, hang on a second. What are your stats so far tonight?
Well, I just missed the shot that would have won the game for us, which set up the other team to win the game. So it was a good time for me to take a break.
Oh.
Jake, where are you sitting?
We won the first two, and then we just lost, or won the first three, and then lost the fourth. I'm in the conference room here.
I like the little the curtains behind you. Look very good.
Well, over here, there's a lot of Greek Orthodox icons on this side. But yeah, I have the curtain as a backdrop here.
I love it. How often do you play basketball?
During football season, if I can play once a week, that's pretty good. Probably every other. Sometimes I'll play twice a week. But, I've got 3 young kids. I've got these Browns to deal with. You guys know it's a lot to get through. So try to as much as I can. Try to exercise when I can.
There you
Now,
go.
what kind of a player are you? If you were to describe your game, where you
I'm going to put him at a
shooter,
combo guard, but I'm going to let him talk.
I would say like Jetty Osman. Is that a good?
there you go.
Yeah, does can score a little, but mostly looking to do other things. I think is where I fit in.
All right.
Like podcasts.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you guys play more than one pickup game on
I'm
Mondays?
involved in 2. By the way, can I see myself? Is there a way for me to see you guys? I'm just talking to myself here, or is that the way this thing is set up?
That's a question for our production crew, and he's looking at me with a funny look. So you might be all by yourself in that Greek Orthodox conference room.
Yeah, I've been fighting that thing for a while.
I have a game here, and then I have a game in Homestead Falls, where I live.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
Wow, so you're basically in a travel league.
Yeah, basically. I got my Thunder hoodie on too. Took my son to the Thunder Cavs game. Was that last Saturday? I was going to go to Cincinnati the night before the game originally, and then I was like, they're only up here once, and my son really likes watching the Thunder, so we went up to the game, got home, like 10:30, 11, and then I woke up at 5:30 a.m. on Sunday to drive down to Cincinnati, and got to the game like way too early. Like I was bored out of my mind for 2 hours at Paul Brown Stadium or whatever they call it now. Before anybody else got there. So I was like the first one, I think, that was in that stadium.
That's funny. So, all right, let's talk some Browns. We can't go all pickup games for basketball because we have a new quarterback since we last talked to you, Deshaun Watson. We've had a few games now to kind of see what kind of player he potentially could be for the Browns. What have you thought of Deshaun's progression over the last 3 weeks?
He's been incrementally better. Obviously, that first game was not great. Second one, they scored 1 touchdown. Third one, they scored 1 touchdown. At some point, they're going to have to be a lot better offensively with him to be a factor, let's face it, 2023. I think there's a 0.7% chance that the Browns can make the playoffs, but it would basically require 2 of 3 of Miami, the Chargers, and Baltimore losing out, the Browns winning out, and even at that point, the Browns might need other teams like the Raiders or the Jaguars to lose for tiebreaker purposes. So, it's not impossible, but it's a long shot. And so, everything is building toward 2023. I think viewing Deshaun Watson through the prism of on the field, having not played for 700 days, and then that first performance in Houston, which was not good. He's been better. But viewing him through the lens of $230 million and 3 first-round draft picks, he's going to have to be a heck of a lot better than he has been so far. And I think the question is, A, how long is it going to take? And B, can he get to that level again? And when is that going to happen?
Hey, Jake, speaking of being better, what do you think is going on with Cade York? Is it just a weather thing? Since you're closer and you kind of see what happens pregame and practice-wise, what do you think is the issue there?
Yeah, I mean, with kickers, it can really become mental. And, one of the reasons that Andrew Berry drafted him in the 4th round wasn't just the talent. It was the mentality and the clutchness that he had at LSU. And that has not carried over. Maybe the clutchness has to some degree because of that Carolina kick. But, mentally, he's really struggling right now. He's been, I don't know, maybe the most inconsistent starting kicker in the NFL. Oof. He is a rookie, so you got to, you can't write him off just yet. But
so you think it's more mental? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some technique stuff in there, but it's not a consistent technique issue. At least that's the way it's been described to me. Which, if your technique is good sometimes and other times it's not, it's different technique issues. Isn't that a mental thing at the end of the day, right? So I don't know. I mean, you spend a 4th round pick on a kicker, you need him to be a heck of a lot better than he's been. And he really had an opportunity, I think, to turn a corner on Saturday against Baltimore because he was out kicking Justin Tucker. And then he just absolutely buried that. Was it that 3rd kick? And then missed another, and then that narrative went away. I mean, at one point it was like you could make a case that the story of the game was Cade York out kicking Justin Tucker. We'll see what happens, but so far it kind of feels like a lot of the other kickers they've had in the past. The Chase McLaughlin, the Austin Seiberts,
the Greg Josephs. I saw him hit a game winner.
And Chase McLaughlin has been like every time I'm watching the Colts, he's hitting like 5 field goals in a game. He's had a very good year, but it's much easier to kick an Indiana Dome than into the dog pound off the coast of Lake Erie.
Jake, a month ago, everybody in Cleveland wanted Joe Woods gone. The defense for about the last 3 weeks to about a month has seemed to improve. There's less people calling for his head, although there's still a healthy majority. Do you think that he could still save his job coming into the end of the year? And what changes have you seen out of this defense that's allowed them to improve over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible he could save his job. I know Kevin Stefanski is not going to want to fire Joe Woods. And so, it just kind of depends on how this season finishes up. But there's no question they've made some noticeable improvement across the board. In mid-October, they were 31st in the NFL in defensive efficiency. I think they were just ahead of the Lions. So they had the 31st ranked defense in mid-October. They're 17th now, which is still bad, but to go from 31st to 17th, it's like my first year of college. My first semester, I had a terrible GPA. By the time I graduated, it was pretty good, but that first semester really, that took me down. And it's kind of similar with the Browns here, where they're better. It's too little, too late at this point. But I do think they have a lot to build on off the way that they've played lately. And, I think it will make the decision a little bit tougher for the front office and for Stefanski to decide, what they want to do in terms of defensive staff and defensive personnel. It's weird. Conversely, the Browns offense was in mid-October 6th in efficiency, and now they rank behind the defense. They're 18th, I think, in
it's maddening. It's maddening.
And, it's a lot of it has been the last 3 weeks. I mean, it just has. They have not been very good offensively since, they've scored 2 touchdowns since Deshaun Watson came back. So we have not had a point this season where, the defense is playing good football and the offense is playing good football at the same time.
There's so many issues with this team, and it's very hard to pinpoint like what is wrong with the team, why they haven't had success. So when Kevin Stefanski closes the book on this season, and we're heading into next season, Jake, what do you think what is he going to try to pinpoint to just have more success next year?
Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, the Deshaun Watson trade created a lot of distractions for this team.
Sure.
I mean, we were in training camp and he's taking first team reps and we don't know how many games he's going to be able to play. We know Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter, but for how many games? I mean, it was very strange in training camp. There were, there were headlines almost every day. It felt like from the time they made the trade, really to now, right? I mean, almost to the point he came back. And I've heard people say that, the season was over. It wasn't over at any point during the season. It was over when the settlement came down and they extended the suspension from 6 to 11 games. I don't know if you guys would disagree. Think about this. I don't think their record would be any different if Deshaun Watson were suspended 6 instead of 11 games. Like, what game were they winning after the 6-game suspension with Deshaun Watson instead of Jacoby Brissett?
That's a good point. Like, the only ones that I could really think of were earlier in the year where he would have been suspended, where you're like, maybe Deshaun could have made that game-winning drive.
Yeah, but I mean, let's assume that he was suspended the 6 games. So his first game back was Baltimore on the road. They were not going to beat Baltimore on the road in Deshaun Watson's first game back. We saw what that looked like at Houston, right?
Yep.
They were almost fortunate to win that game. They came back and beat Cincinnati anyway, Monday Night Football. They weren't beating Miami or Buffalo on the road, no matter what, in those games. Jacoby played pretty well against Buffalo.
Yeah.
What did they have? Tampa Bay at home the next, and they won that game. Jacoby played well, and then since then they've won the games they won and lost the games they've lost with Deshaun Watson. I mean, I guess you could make the case that if he came back in Week 7, that he'd be so much better now. Based on what I've seen so far, I don't buy that. I think it's going to take the rest of the season for him to make gradual progress to get back to even remotely where the level he was at in 2019, 2020. So. Everybody wants to, fire Joe Woods and fire Kevin Stefanski in the front office. And I think a lot of the criticism is deserved. But, if you're Jimmy Haslam, you have to acknowledge that the trade that you made in a lot of ways put the 2022 season in jeopardy. And by extension, it's another year of Nick Chubb's prime, another year of Myles Garrett's prime. And I would make the case too, guys, the best roster that Deshaun Watson is going to play with in Cleveland is the 2022 Browns. Maybe not the best team, but I don't know that they're going to be as talented going forward as they are now because the salary cap is going to be problematic with that contract. And they don't have any first-round picks.
I was thinking that exact same thing earlier, and that's scary right there. Do you think is Stefanski in lockstep with Watson, do you think? Because I think that relationship is going to be important here for the next few years, assuming Stefanski sticks around, and obviously Watson's going to be here. So are they in lockstep, do you think? Do you think that one's going to work out?
Yeah, I get the sense that they are. I know that when the Haslams and Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski flew to Houston to meet with Watson right after that, the grand jury in Texas didn't indict him, that he and Stefanski, from what I heard, had a really good rapport right away, and they were on his computer or an iPad or some kind of device, and he was showing him clips of things that Watson could improve upon, and then ways they were going to use him in the offense, using film of previous Browns offenses with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, and I've just gotten the sense that they have a pretty good relationship. And, I think if the Haslams went to Watson and asked him what, he thought of Stefanski, I think Watson would give him a pretty good review. Because let's face it, I mean, Watson is going to have enormous power within the organization going forward. And if he tells Jimmy Haslam he doesn't want Kevin Stefanski there anymore, I think the Browns would have a new head coach. But right now, I think that they do have a good rapport. But, it's going to have to translate to on-field production, pretty quickly here.
We just need to get Deshaun Watson to L.A. Rams Baker Mayfield level.
I haven't even watched the game. How is that Rams Packers game going? By the way, I have no idea.
We have no idea either. I was just referring to his game-winning drive.
That was Boy,
What'd you think of that, Jake?
the Raiders have been part of 3 of the most insane games I think I've ever seen. They lose to an ESPN analyst. And they lose to Baker Mayfield 48 hours of prep when Baker hadn't played well in 700 days. And then they beat the Patriots on maybe the dumbest play I've ever seen in my life. And we were out with the kids looking at Christmas lights last night, and I didn't even know that had happened until I started getting all these texts, and I was like, "There's no way this was a real play," and sure enough, it was.
Bill Belichick on the other sideline of all people. That's amazing.
That was a very Brownsian type play that the Patriots made there.
Hey, Jake, you talked a little bit about Stefanski and Watson and their rapport. It seems like Stefanski really likes Brissett, too. Is he going to be our designated quarterback sneak guy? Continue to do that?
I feel like, they Houston, they brought him in and they ran, a Harrison Bryant reverse. They were kind of setting up the play they ran on 4th and 1 in Cincinnati where, you assume that they're going to quarterback sneak or run the ball and then they run play action and,
Oof.
We know what happened in that game. But you look at what the Eagles do with Jalen Hurts. I mean, Brissett with the quarterback sneak is a real weapon, although I don't know why Deshaun Watson with the quarterback sneak can't be an effective play as well. It's not the same without Ethan Postage at center because you get such a push up front. So maybe it's not quite as devastating to play. But you better enjoy the next 3 games with Jacoby Brissett quarterback sneaks because I assume that he's going to have a shot to be a starter somewhere next year. I mean, I think he played that well where, if you're one of these teams that, you're the Carolina Panthers, for example, and you don't get a quarterback in the draft, you could do a lot worse than Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you looking at these last few weeks of the season, Jake? Are there any particular players that you're kind of zoned in on that you think, okay, this guy could potentially make a case for being a big player on the team next year, or I'm really looking at his development? Is there somebody maybe under the radar that you got keyed in on?
Other than Cade York, right?
Yes.
Let's think about this. So anybody offensively, I mean, not really, right? Don't we all kind of know what they have offensively? I don't think there's anybody.
How about that receiver room? I mean, that seems to be, you've got some players.
You've got Amari,
right?
And then it's I don't. Maybe what do you say? Michael Woods the second. I mean, Schwartz is, he's out. I can't see Felton doing anything that's gonna, reverse the discourse on him. David Bell's injured, and I think we kind of know what he is at this point, right?
I hope not.
The guy who I think could have, a low-key kind of big future in Cleveland. Basically hasn't played at all, but I think could be an important player for them. And, he might get some bit snaps here and there is James Hudson.
Okay.
He's got a chance to be a starting offensive tackle for the Browns next year. Probably on the right side, but we've seen the way Jed Wills has played this year. That could be something that they could take a look at. I mean, and this is the problem the Browns are in. People are like, well, kind of go get a better left tackle. You're going to be very limited in the levers that you can pull to go do that. I mentioned the picks, but on top of that, until they restructure Deshaun Watson's deal, they're not going to be able to go sign that type of player. They had 30-something million in cap space this year. You know why they didn't use it? Because they need that to roll over so they can keep some of the guys that they have under contract right now. That's why I say this is the best roster that Watson's going to play with because they're going to lose guys. They're going to be able to add guys. They're going to lose guys like Clowney and Conklin and Kareem Hunt and, go down the list. It's going to be very difficult until they restructure some contracts, which they may be able to do to bring in those types of guys. So anyway, James Hudson, I think, is a guy that I think has got some talent. I think he's kind of intriguing. And even though the last time we saw him as a starting offensive tackle, what was it, that Monday night game against Pittsburgh where it didn't go very well for him against Watt, I do think that he has the potential to be an intriguing piece going forward.
Hey, we'll take that. All right, last one before we get you out of here. Over under 33. I think we got some snow coming. I love betting the over. Jake, what do you think?
Oh, under.
No.
Under. I mean, the Browns. So the Browns have scored 2 offensive touchdowns in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
going to be playing. What is it going to be? 4 degrees Saturday.
Yeah, it's gonna be
If
really
that.
cold.
Maybe some snow.
Some snow, a ton of wind.
Yeah, I can't. I feel like first 1 to 14 points wins this game.
All right, well, let's hope we get to 14. Jake, we greatly appreciate the time. We'll let you get back to some basketball.
I got to go knock down some jumpers here, guys.
Let's
Thanks for having me
go.
on.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you.
Jake.
Bye-bye.
All right, Jake Trotter. I have a feeling he's got a good basketball shot.
I feel like
He's going to go hit some threes.
He looks like someone who definitely practices balance, eyes, elbow, follow through.
Look at you. And by the way, Gab, show off what you're doing off screen there with the. So we figured what that is.
I figured something out. So I just want to show you something. let me show you this.
Now keep in mind, I can't see anything. So I won't be able
McNeil.
And
yeah.
for the audio podcast listeners,
All right. Well,
we'll
yeah,
walk
for
you
the
through
audio
this.
to- Great
podcast.
radio we're
There's
playing
this.
right now.
There's this knit contraption with a Labatt Blue Light logo on it, and I thought it went like this. I'll show you. You'll have to come watch this on YouTube, listeners. I thought it was like this, and they're like, "There's no way that's right."
No,
right?
that's not it.
That's
Oh,
not
now I
it.
can-
So stand by. Oh, McNeil, I wish you could see this. All right.
I
All right,
can
so
see
she's
it. I'm watching I'm watching it.
you're watching the
live.
replay.
Oh,
Nice.
good. Okay, so then there's this, right? So that's cool. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. They knit a little extra side piece. I wonder what's that for. Well,
It's a glove.
I figured it out. You're sitting there in the Muni lot
Look at that.
before the game in 4 degrees, and you need to cheers somebody. That's how you do it. You
And it
can-
looks like it's part of your sweater.
And yeah, it really goes perfectly with my Labatt ugly sweater. They really, really hooked me up. I'm going to do a.
All right,
like
let's
this.
keep going.
That is fantastic.
5. We're on day 5. This is not a drink, so here you can have this one.
On the 5th day of Labattmas.
I'm gonna go with day 6.
Wow, you can't go wrong with socks.
There we go. We got some socks.
This is the best.
All right, day 6.
It's got to be a drink, right, Dave?
Black cherry lime.
Nice.
Let's keep the party going. Big play bets.
Good for you.
All right, get ready to bet with us all of 2023. Go get $150 in free bets. Load that into your Tipico Sportsbook app. Just make a deposit, any dollar amount. You get $150 in free bets for January 1st. Go download it in the link in our bios and on the show. And we will see you January 1st for some sportsbook betting in Ohio. Let's look at some of those bets because Browns, Saints. Oh, gosh, I think it even went down. Over under 32.
Oh, okay.
33. No one's betting the over with me. 32.
Yeah, I'm still feeling under. Just
Are
because,
you really going over?
I mean, look
Dave?
what we just saw this past weekend, and
I know.
we're going to have even worse weather. We're going to have to run the ball, and yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking with Jake. I'm still staying under.
Chris, you sound like you're going under as well.
Oh yeah. No doubt about
Wouldn't
it. You're
you?
going over?
Wouldn't
Do
you
it.
think though that all of the odds makers would look at that? I don't know if I've ever seen an NFL game below like 31, maybe like 30 at an absolute least. But wouldn't you think they would put this game at like
If it was 28,
22 or something?
no, that's too low. If it was like 20, between 25 and 28, I might do the over.
They want
32 just seems like
They-
too much of a
they wanna-
stretch.
They want to split it and take the vig, so they got to figure there's plenty of people over on this one. I don't know. I don't see it.
A lot of suckers like me. Let's look at this. I'm pulling up the app. They have the alternate spreads. So you can do, Gab. Here we go. Over 31.5. Would you do that?
See that's
No.
the bet right there. I'd do that.
I wouldn't.
No?
Don't think so?
Well,
Couple of
let me mock up a
touchdowns
score
on each
here.
side.
Chris, would you do 31.5?
I'd take the over on that one.
But 32, you won't.
Yeah. What McNeil? What are you doing?
You sounded so decisive on that half
He's
point.
like, nah. And now he's
I
like
want the
31
half.
and a half.
Although Vegas knows.
Definitely.
Vegas knows.
I don't know. The half does make a difference. The half does make a difference. I had misheard your first one, but yes.
We thought last week's 37 and a half was low. This is incredibly, incredibly low for an NFL game. I just have trouble betting the under.
The only reason I don't have trouble is because of what I saw this. When was that? Friday? No, we played Saturday.
Yeah. All right, are we gonna go under? This could be my first under bet of all time.
Real ones go over, Dave.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? It's not
Never mind.
January 1st yet, so we'll get some practice
Although,
unders in.
what did the Saints score yesterday?
Let me look.
against-
Saints.
I think they had like 23 or 18 points. I don't remember.
That was
21.
yeah.
I think it was like 23 to 18.
I think you guys are probably right.
21 they had?
Yeah, 18
21.
to 21.
All right, consensus under.
31. I know, I'm trying to mock up.
Yeah, Cleveland's defense has allowed 14 points per game over the last 4 weeks. Our offense, 18.3 points over the last 4
You know what?
weeks.
I see what Vegas is doing. Okay, so
I love how Dave's like, how often do you see an NFL game under 31? We saw one yesterday with 16.
I didn't say that. I said the over-under. You
Oh,
never
yeah.
see the over-under that low.
yeah, I'm still going under.
Okay. I misheard a lot there. Now I'm with you. I am back.
We have the Red Rocket coming to this game, so Andy Dalton
Oh, my gosh.
shootout with Deshaun Watson, maybe.
I feel like
How
he's a
old is
walking
Andy
under.
Dalton?
Andy Dalton is 53. He's 3
Yeah.
years younger than Brandon Whedon.
Andy Dalton, Brandon
you
Whedon,
serious?
Colt McCoy.
I'm like, no chance.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Yeah, we've got bad weather. Cleveland 5-0. Dollar Dog gave us this stat when Chubb carries the ball 20 times. 5-0.
Oh.
I feel like all right, I'm going under with you guys because the Saints do a lot of running. They've got Taysom Hill. They do a lot of running with him or throwing or passing with him or catching. He does everything. I think we pound it with Chubb.
Okay.
Under. Stat line this week. Chris, who do you have faith in to score maybe a touchdown or two?
To score a touchdown for the Cleveland Browns. How about Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Okay.
Let's go. We're going to be running Chubb a lot, but we're going to have to mix it up at some point.
Over under on Chubb. Let's build a stat line for him. If I put it at 100, where would you put it? Over under.
I'm going to have to say over. Let's go over.
He had 99 on Saturday. Let's go over.
All right. I'm going to give you another over under. Cade York. Field goal makes 1.5.
I'll go over.
I
Yeah?
feel like he's going to tighten it up now. Oh, but the weather's going to be bad again.
Let's stop dragging our boy Cade.
Yeah. It's nothing
That's not a
against-
drag.
It's nothing against him. We're dealing with the numbers and the reality of his performances lately.
Right. I'm saying this is a confidence. I'm going to manifest confidence.
There you
in
go.
Cade.
I like where you're headed.
How about that? So it's going
Well-
to be all positives. He's going to go out there. It's going to be a nasty day. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. You're going to have a little bit of snow, and he's just going to stare it all down. He's not going to miss. How
Yeah,
about
I think he's definitely going to tighten it up after this performance that we just saw. You know what I mean? He's going to
Yep.
really lock it in, and
he may even kick off a cleat
that
and
was
just go total barefoot.
Oh,
Span it
boy.
up. You know, a lot of people don't wear sleeves. Our kicker's going to come out there barefoot. First barefoot kicker since Morton Anderson just walking out there. It's going to be fantastic. Let's go.
yeah. I have a feeling he's really going to
We are
lock it
back.
in. I'm surprised that Jake really thinks it's a mental thing.
Oh,
Bernie-
I think he's right. I think it's the
Yeah.
yips.
Because, I mean,
I'm a golfer.
he can kick it.
As a golfer, I know what the yips look like. And I've
Okay.
had them plenty of times, and that looks a lot like the yips to me.
I guess I just figured, he just was out of sync on something, rushed it or whatever. But you're right. A lot of that could all come down to overthinking it too. So
Chris, do you think that NFL kicking is, or I guess kicking in general, is like golf? Like, Chris, when we go out there, one day will be incredible, and then the next time you stink, and then you have to make like little adjustments, like closing your grip, changing your swing slightly to improve. Do you think it's like that?
Or
Or
you start doing that, and you start making those little adjustments, and you screw up your game even worse. And the games that you have and the rounds that you have that are the best are the ones where you just totally turn off your head and you're just out there just playing in the moment. Sometimes it takes that, doesn't it? I mean, you can only make so many adjustments and to where you're really working against yourself. And I don't know if Cade's at that point. I don't know the technicalities and all the mechanics of kicking the football. But I could tell you that we're late in the season, and for that to be hitting him now, it's like it'd be nice if he could just reset and just take a step back and just go out there and just kick the ball. Like
I found in golf, like I'm best when I'm not thinking about anything, like, and that's usually like 5 to 6 beers.
I was gonna say you're about 6 beers in. It's about the 4th hole.
Yes.
All of a sudden you're in the zone.
You go
You're
over
like
that,
Michael
it's
Jordan in the
game
90s.
over. But if you can find that mix, so if we could get Cade 5 to 6 Labatt's, but we'd have to keep him going for that whole game. I feel like that would be a winning
you have
solution.
to come out with one of these.
Yeah, there we go.
Gab, you know what we call that? You know what us golfers call that?
What's
That's
that?
called aiming fluid.
Okay,
Aiming
there we
fluid in
go.
golf.
Yeah,
that's
just
what
out
you
of
need, just a little
curiosity,
aiming fluid.
the ones that he missed, how far were those? Because didn't he?
Well, the first one that he missed, like, literally went, like, he shanked it completely sideways.
And how far was he out? Didn't he
Um,
hit a really long one, like 58 yards? Did I make that up?
that was the game winner week 1.
No. Okay, I'm thinking of. I thought he had.
The first kick that he made was good, but the one that he missed was short. I want to say it was like low 40s or so,
Okay.
as Dollar Dog looks it up. 43?
All right, so the first one was
42?
38,
Okay.
wide left.
He made that one.
No.
That's
he
one he
missed that.
missed. The first
That's
one
what
he missed was 38,
Oh,
wide
okay.
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second one he missed, that one was longer, 46,
Uh-huh.
wide
Yeah.
right. So now he's just got to put it in the middle, right?
Okay, so and the one that he made,
He made 2, I
or
believe.
the
Yeah,
2
he
that he
did.
made.
Let's see. The first one was, or the second one, I'm sorry, was 23, chip shot. First one, 47. So he's kind of
Yeah.
all over.
Okay. Yeah, he is all over the.
Well, here's
place.
a question because Chris wants
Mental.
Yeah.
Chris wants to do the positive route with Cade York.
Yeah.
We're down 2. Weather's not great Saturday. 10 seconds left. Where are you comfortable with him kicking a game winner?
23. 23 yards out.
I feel like
Or
he's
47.
better. I don't think
towards the
distance
dog
has
pound.
anything to do with it.
You don't?
No, because he can make it from 65, but then he'll shank one completely, or it'll get blocked at like 20. So I don't care where he is, as long as he gets that geometry going.
Yeah.
So he's had 6 misses at home this season. Of those, 4 of them have come kicking towards the west end. How about
Yeah,
that?
that's-
Ooh.
Next level.
That's where.
Next level analytics.
That was my next question. Was
So we want him kicking
which
towards the dog.
ones? Yeah. Did you say we want
Very
him kicking
interesting.
towards the west? You said.
Yeah, we were kicking towards the west. And he missed 4 of the 6 were missed when kicking west.
4 of the 6 were missed.
So
when
we need
kicking
him
west?
kicking towards the dog pound.
Right.
Strategy.
So maybe the dog pound just really like gets him going.
66%
There
of
we
his
go.
misses came kicking west. Only
Huge
33
sample size.
kicking east.
Or
That's
really-
analytics. That's next level. You're not going to find that on ESPN.
Do you feel like this is what like Stefanski and
find that right
Prefer and Barry like in D Podesta like sit around at the bar and this is what they talk about?
I'd like
Like,
to-
well, you know, Chris, it's 66% this way.
Yeah, no, probably not. It's probably in there somewhere. They probably have a big book of analytics that they just ignore, and then he goes with his gut anyway.
Could be. Chris, are we winning this game? We are favored by 3.
But we have to. It's a must-win game, Dave.
That is true.
You know, for all these other playoff scenarios to work, we first have to do our job. So, yeah, let's go out there. Let's win. I see us, you know, Watson's got us. You know, he's playing a little bit, like Jake said, incrementally better every single game, and I think that's very accurate. So I continue to see that. The Saints don't want to be here. Saints don't want to be playing in Cleveland. You know,
It's true.
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna
And
be
they
crap.
stink.
They stink. They don't want to be here. So let's play like they don't want to be here, and let's beat them. I could see the Browns coming out and putting it to them if their head's in the right spot. I could definitely see the Browns rolling in this one. I really could, which scares me because I have some strange confidence there in our Cleveland Browns.
Wow. For under 32 points.
Right.
All right, so if we're putting a parlay together, this would be it. It would be Browns -3, under, Nick Chubb over 100 yards.
Okay.
I like it. We'll see how that does. Any
Write that down. Do we have that for next week when we forget?
Dollar Dog Nick writes
All right,
everything
that's-
down for us.
We should probably write that down somewhere because next week we're going to be like, what did we say?
That is true. Yes. All right. Any final thoughts for this game?
Wear your hand warmers if you're headed out there.
Anybody going?
Oh, you know what? So speaking of that, our friend of show, Brett, he was retired from Ford. He
Sits in my section.
sits in the reflog section, has 4 tickets, 50-yard line, incredible seats, as you know.
And the nice part about those seats is
You
they're
can
club
go
level. You
inside.
get access to the club. So when you get cold, I'm old. You know, when I was a kid, I would sit out there and I'd laugh at all these old guys going into the club. But now I'm one of those old, old guys going into the club.
Right on cue.
Can't even talk anymore. Old guys going into the club, and it's great. You go in there, you warm up, you grab yourself a beverage of choice, get some food. They always run out of popcorn, and that's another bitch of mine, but we'll save that for another day.
There we
You
go.
go in there, you can watch the cave, you can enjoy it with other fans, warm up, and then you can go back to your seats for a little time. So that is the best part. Not only are you at the 50-yard line, you also have access to that club, and it's nice and warm.
There we go. So I'm either going to take the 3 boys or we're going to give those away. So stay tuned. I don't think I'm going to take my kids.
Yeah, that's
It's a
tough one.
project in the cold.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
December games.
So we might have a giveaway this week since we haven't done any giveaways. So
That's
we'll,
a good one.
yeah.
Stay tuned,
That's a good
folks.
one.
That's right. All right, final thought, Chris. We had the anniversary of Bottlegate this past week. I was talking. Angry Browns fan was here at the simulator today and came over for the Bernie show, and he was talking about. Remember the iconic profile pic? I think it's his profile pic of a guy throwing the bottle who's been banned for life from the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Sir Elton John.
And he so
He also tried to ruin the Guardians season this year by having a concert over there at Progressive Field.
that is true. That is true. So
What
Angry
else?
Browns fan found him. His name is Paul. And he had an idea where we need to get him access back to the stadium from his lifelong ban. So we have to contact JW and talk to him to lift the lifetime ban, and then Chris, you, Angry Browns fan, and Bernie can walk him into the stadium.
And then he can smash a guitar. That'd be fantastic. How about that?
We got to set that up.
And he should do it on a Saturday.
I'm curious to see if Paul has the same haircut.
He doesn't. I saw the expose. I think Angry Browns fans put it together, but he's kind of changed his life since that.
Very
Kind
interesting.
of coming to Jesus, from what I understand, after that incident, and it kind of rocked him, and he decided to go a different way with his life and everything else. So this would
Wow.
come full circle if Big Play can make this happen.
I
And,
feel like he could sneak in.
yeah. No, he
We
looks
just
totally
sneak him
different,
in.
so
If
he
I
won't
was
have any
him, I
problem.
would.
Yeah. Now let's give him a grand entrance.
All right, fair.
I was going to say, he's got to do it legit.
Yeah.
You got to
Yes.
walk in the front door. There's no more back door for Elton John. This is front
I
door. He
understand.
walks
Yeah.
right in there.
Yeah, he needs to be proud. He needs to shake his shame, and we have to support him in that.
That's right.
Right down the yellow brick road. Right?
That's right. Let's do it. All right. We got a project for this week. We'll set it up. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Big Play Reflog Show. We will see you next Monday night at 9 p.m. Go check out shacknews.com. Go subscribe to their Twitch channel. Go download that Tipico app. Get $150 free in bets for January 1st. Use that link in our bio and show clip. And go drink some Labatt Blue Lights and pick up some, what are we calling it?
Mittens.
Beer mittens.
Beer mittens.
That's right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey,
What?
should we wish the people something?
I was thinking the next show was pre-Christmas.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Go again. There we
go. Oh, yeah.
That would have been the perfect time to cut, but now it's just like kind of awkward. You're just like, maybe do it again.
Again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Oh, yeah.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, The Big Play!